Hey, ho, ho, ho. Welcome to the December edition of Your Questions Answered. I'm Michael, KB9VBR.
And I'm Bill, 89C Dritz. Oh, Christmas J-Pole, oh, Christmas J-Pole, your signal's always full quieting.
I should have brought the sleigh bells.
Oh,
All right. Well,
well,
thanks a lot, everybody, for
get ball fag and hang it on the tree, you know.
I should have put a little tree up in the background. Yeah, we could hang some
Right.
little bowfigs from it,
They got to be
and
cheaper than the lights. Oh,
torides and
all right.
they're
Leftover
little
LEDs for projects, you
yeah,
know.
they're little displays glowing blue, you know what I mean?
Uh, do
Oh yeah,
5 minutes in the bathroom with a shower.
yeah, please stop singing.
Hey, for Patreons, there's no singing on there, okay?
That's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we got people filing into the chat this evening, and welcome everybody that's watching us time delayed on Team Replay. So it's a lot of the regulars here. Good to hear you're filing in, Bill and B. William, and shout out from Maryland, and Chuck says hi, and Georgia on my mind.
Georgia. Georgia.
And good old Mark.
If you don't want to hear me sing, join Patreon.
$1 to sing, $5 to shut him up.
Right. Holler, holler.
Good old Todd from Green Bay. And yeah, speaking of Green Bay, there's going to be a big game this weekend.
Really? What sort of sports game will there be?
I think the sports ball team, it's the Packers versus the Bears. So
Bears.
the
Still
Bears.
All of our Illinois friends are quickly leaving the chat.
Yeah. Hello from Chile, Maine. Getting down to the single numbers. We were minus what this morning when I got up?
I
7?
think when I left the house at 6, it was like -6, -5.
Got up to a balmy 10 today, and supposed to be warmer tomorrow.
Which I think is a record minimum high, if I'm not mistaken, for Wausau. Like, it's the lowest high we've had on this day. I think that was what they were looking at.
Yep. Yeah, I know. They were expecting records to be broken because
Right.
it's cold, and that cold is heading east. So you guys will get more of it. So
yeah, I think that this is going to be a really cold winter for our winter activators. So dress appropriately.
I got a feeling that too, because I was just looking at the outlooks, the 8 to 14, and then the 3-week outlook, and it's for the month of December. It's pretty much completely at or below normal. So it's we had our warm weather in November.
It wasn't even that really of a warm November.
The first half of the month was beautiful.
There's a couple of decent days in the beginning, but then by about the third week, it got bad.
It was still seasonable, though.
Yeah, last year we had a warm November and a warm December.
Mm-hmm. It didn't get cold till January. So
yeah, then it just got cold. We didn't have any snow. But that's usually it. It's too cold in January to snow anyways. Oh, don't rub it in, Jason. Don't rub it in.
It's summer for him.
Right?
Yeah.
It's always summer down there.
Oh, keep talking Bears and Packers. Leave the Lions out of it. So
we took care of the kitty cats already. Who's next?
That's right. That's right. Oh, Jack from across the pond. Good evening. You're staying up pretty late for the stream, so thanks for joining us tonight
or even early, depending on how you look at it.
Tomorrow morning.
Yep.
So, the band is silent tonight. Yeah. So
Silent band. No.
Terror.
Come on, guys.
Hey, if you got questions tonight, ham radio related questions, we'd love to tackle them.
We're not going to do any more singing because I have definitely met my quota for the month.
You met your quota. If you don't want to hear Joel sing, you're going to have to throw some questions into the chat. We do have a few things we're going to talk about tonight, including the big announcement of the location for the 4th annual Wisconsin Ham Radio Campout. That's going to be happening October of next year. We're gonna announce that to the public, where we're gonna be at. We're gonna talk about holiday gifts, favorite things that we've found over the last year that really kind of caught our attention, and I kind of want to share those with you. So that'll be towards the end of the show, and then of course we've got some news. Late breaking POTA news. So we'll tackle that.
Dun, dun, dun.
We'll tackle that too. So
right. Unlike CNN.com, where you now have to be a subscriber to read any of it, we're going to give you the news for free.
Yep. Well, we're waiting for the questions to file in. We got one here that's, what are you guys doing for Winter Field Day? And
we haven't even looked at that yet. We're definitely going to do something. I don't know.
We're going to do, we got, well, last year we were at the Deluxe Cottage in central Wisconsin.
Yes, we were. So do we move up a little bit, or do we try to take it down a little bit?
Take it down a notch. A couple of years ago, we were at the backwoods, backcountry, off-grid cabin.
Yeah. You can always go back to the off-grid cabin. That's always a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's great as long as you get the stove going and it warms up in there. But
get the stove. Heat the place up, melt the walls.
Yeah, the first 2 hours are a little chilly, especially when you get there and it's 20 below.
Yeah, at least the cozy cottage has got a is heated, and it has a fish fry within reasonable distance. So
yeah, it did. It was good fish fry, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Dave even liked it. I forget what he had, but yeah, we had a good time out there.
I don't remember. I don't know. We'll be deciding, probably make that decision in the next few weeks. So
right. Yeah, we'll have to see if Travis will try to join this year. Every year he says he's gonna, and then it comes up and he can't make it. So
yeah. We'll know for sure. By the January live stream, we'll know for sure what we're doing.
We'll probably know for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we're pretty easy going. We just slap it together at the last minute.
Dave, well, it depends on Dave's calendar. So we'll have to.
Very busy man. He is permanently unemployed. Right. And, you know, one thing that I found out that when you retire, you have so many more things to do, apparently.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Like my dad tells me this, like he's so busy, he doesn't know what to do. I'm like, Dad, you're retired.
You gotta keep a schedule.
Yeah. Just so you know what day it is. Oh, it's Tuesday. Oh, I gotta go out to breakfast with the guys on Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
You know, otherwise you don't know what day it is.
Dave gets that way sometimes. So.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine. Am I going to work today? Oh yeah. Well, then I'll see you someday between Monday and Friday.
Yeah. So Tim's allergic to the cold, breaking out in bumps just listening to you. So
yeah. Well, I spent the first 2 hours this morning outside in a landfill. That makes you a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. At least I was on the on the lee, is it the lee side of the big hill, or is the lee side though where the wind isn't?
Upwind, or
Yeah,
were you
I was, well, yeah. So there was no wind where I was at.
okay?
But I went on the other side of the hill. So you got to understand, it's a big landfill, right? So they just pile up as far as they can, and then
Mm-hmm.
they bury it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big hill, and yeah. So I was, I guess, on the good side of the hill. I'll just say that. But then when I had to fall into the leachate vault, that was a little stinky.
Hey, Dave's finally here. Here's
Yeah.
how here's how his calendar goes. Curling is Monday. That's how he knows the week started.
You remember anything after curling? All right, we got some real questions here. We should
We got
probably
some
take up some
questions.
of these. Yeah.
Bill wants to know, is it okay to tune up a KW on an active POTA frequency? Sure. I got a notch filter. I'll block. I can block you out.
Wow. I'll leave it 7,200.
That's why they got notch filters, isn't
Right.
it? We had another one about metal roofs. This is it's a question I get a lot of times. Would a metal roof be problematic for a base antenna that's end fed or off center fed dipole if it were mounted over the house? And typically it shouldn't be too much of an issue as long as you're above the metal roof with wire
Yeah.
antennas.
I would say probably a quarter wave is where you want to be, right? But it'll still work if it's less than that.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely don't want it touching. I guess
No.
you could use the metal roof as a counterpoise or a ground plane as well, though.
Well, that would be interesting. We do
Yeah,
that with verticals, like if you've got like a VHF UHF vertical antenna, the metal, mounting above that metal roof really does wonders. One
right,
thing to consider, though, a lot of times, the roofs are going to be sloped, so they're not absolutely parallel to the antenna,
right.
and that will help. You're probably gonna get some funky radiation patterns, some like unexpected nulls or something like that. Instead of being hung over, in free space or above good ground. But I don't think it's going to be disastrous.
Right. Not ideal, but it ain't gonna be. It ain't gonna be the end of things. We'll just say it that way.
No. I've got steel siding on my house, but I got a composite roof, and
Mhm.
that doesn't affect the siding doesn't affect the antennas. So
Right.
yeah, it's a good question. So. Try it and see what happens. If you put it up there and you can't get a match, then you got to do something else.
Just add more wire.
Just add more wire. Okay, let's see. Here's another one here. I live in the attic and can't put any more antennas on the roof besides random wire antennas. I love to get 40 meters and 20 meters. My roof from end to end is about 5 meters. What's the best option?
Well,
So 5 meters in freedom units is what, about 15, 16 feet?
be a little more than that. It's gonna be
A
closer
little more.
to like 20. Hold on
20
here.
feet? No, it's not that long.
5 and 2 feet.
You got it?
16.4.
Okay, so I was right.
You're close.
Close.
0.4.
0.4. What's the shortest non-resonant antenna you can do for 40 meters? Probably about 29 feet, which would be about 8.5, 9 meters.
Yeah, it's almost twice of what you got there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what. The I guess you could try doing like a trap dipole maybe, but I don't even think you can. Yeah, I don't know. You maybe. Yeah, I don't know. You're kind of in a position there. I mean, you could try putting a small vertical up. I don't know how much height you got. I was thinking like a um excuse me, a
Yeah.
pre-exploded vertical like a buddy stick.
Mm-hmm.
That's short, but I don't know.
Yeah. I think. I wonder if you can dangle a wire out the window.
Right. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think he said he already has uh uh a random wire. Yeah, he's got a random wire already.
Besides, well, he can't put any more antennas on the roof besides random wire
Yeah.
antennas. So it sounds like he's really tight for space. Um,
Could you put something in the backyard, maybe like a vertical in the backyard? I don't know what the living situation is there, but
Probably not if he's in
yeah,
the attic. Then that's probably a height issue.
right. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So let's see. We got some. Let's see some ideas here. 17-foot telescoping whip and a coil for 40 meters, like a
Yeah,
vertical. If
yeah, like a
that,
vertical one. I don't think you're gonna get that in the attic.
yeah, 29
Oh, you
feet,
know what you could do?
zigzag it.
Um, um, a mag loop.
Yeah, mag loop would be an option.
Yeah, mag loop would be fine in an attic.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be knife edge tuning on it. But yeah, it'll work.
Mm-hmm. 5-meter end-fed random wire. I mean, you can go shorter than 29 feet, 9 meters.
Right.
So if you're not going to, it's it's definitely going to be a compromise.
Right.
Good,
5 meters might work for 20 meters, but I don't know. Well, no, 'cause that's almost a quarter wave. That might be a really bad length for unless you have a 64-1.
mm-hmm.
I don't know. Because you don't really
Well,
want a quarter wavelength of a fundamental frequency.
yeah. I mean, chameleons, their impasse, they use a 17-foot vertical whip with the 5-to-1 matching unit.
Right.
That's just over 5 meters. If you had a transformer, 4-to-1, 5-to-1 transformer, and 5 meters of wire, you could get a match out of it for sure.
Right.
But it's not going to be very efficient. But it'll get you on the air.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, I
but
don't know. I think the mag loop might actually be the best option for that.
mhm.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's indoors. Yeah, it's wouldn't be a bad option. So
Mhm.
hopefully that gives you some ideas. More to go. Um, we had a question here about keys. Brandon's asking, Long Island CW Club recommends learning on straight key, then moving to a paddle. What do you think? Joe, both of us have been working on Long Island CW. Joe a little bit harder than I have. And I know what you mean about that. They say that you should start with a straight key. So you can get the feel of the dots and dits and the das. But I don't know. I feel a lot more comfortable using the paddle.
Yeah, I started with a paddle, and that's what I've been doing, and I've been pretty successful for it. So again, I think your mileage may vary. It may work for you, it may not. I definitely try both
Mm-hmm.
and see which one works for you. But they said it's not necessary to start with a paddle, right?
Yeah.
They recommend the straight key, but it's not necessary, I should say.
No, exactly. So,
Don't start with a bug, right? Yeah, don't start with a bug though. Start with either a paddle or a straight key.
in fact, just pretty much stay away from the bugs.
Yeah,
That's like next level keying, and you can always. I remember talking to a guy. He's an avid CW operator, and yeah, he says that. Yeah, you can tell on the air, who's using the bug, because it's just has that real uneven
Got a
sound to
swing
it.
to it.
Yeah,
Got a swing to
swing.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard it. I've heard it a couple times. I think my last activation for sure was one like, oh, that's a bug, and you just know it right away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, paddle is fine because you're still learning, right?
Yeah.
And you're getting a feel for it. And if you feel more comfortable with that and you find more enjoyment with that, then I don't see a problem with it.
That's why I kind of, I did, I was switching back and forth. I started out with the straight key, and I felt more comfortable using the paddle. So I've just continued along with that. And I think I get I get the reasons why they want to, they want you to use one over the other starting out, so you can sort of get that feeling of, of spacing and things like that. But yeah, I like I like the convenience of the paddle.
Use paper clips if you want,
There you go. There you go. Or yeah, follow up. Radiodity sells a nice paddle. Still like it. Joe, I think you have one of those Radiodity paddles still.
Yeah,
I gave away my review unit to
the Zygo one right here.
Yep.
I have not really had enough. Oh, this is loose. It almost feels like it's about to fall out. That's why I'm a little concerned about it. There we go. That's better. So I haven't had enough time with it to really get into it. The one thing that I did notice is that this rubber base, is not really grippy. Right. So if I were going, I mean, it's got the weight, which is nice, but I would say on this one that I would probably put some little rubber feet on the bottom, or do something else to the bottom in order to increase the grip, because it does slide a little bit.
I think Dave mentioned that when we were reviewing the paddle, he felt it was a little slippery.
Yeah.
And he put that rubber shelf liner underneath it to keep it from moving. I gave mine away. They were door prizes at our campout last fall. So I got enough keys, and I felt it was better to share the love. So
you don't use them. You need to get on CW there, Michael.
I know. Well, now that it's cold, I've got no reason to not do it. So
right. Until it warms up again.
Till it warms up again, and then I get busy and stuff like that.
Yeah. So on the for keys, I've been using the cheap stainless steel one that you see on Amazon, the little Chinese one that has magnets. And then all I did is I took some 4 square box covers from the electrical department, taped them together with electrical tape, and that amazingly has great weight and it has great stick. Even it's not the sticky side of the tape, but just the regular outside of the tape, but that has enough grip and weight that it doesn't go anywhere.
Okay. I've been using this little guy. This is the CW Morse paddle. And this for practice, and I gotta mount it on something because it slips around, but I figure get used to this, because this is what I'm gonna eventually get out into the field. So
right. Well, on those little ones like that, I've seen guys hold them with one hand and operate with the other one. Even like with Bagalis, some of those portable Bagali ones, that's how they do it as well. So, again, your mileage may vary on it, but whatever works best for you.
Whatever works best. Yeah. Like John says, use a straight key. Got my novice 45 years ago. So
man, yeah, and you probably still got like lead fillings, and oh man, you still have shredded wheat in the morning every morning, the big chunky shredded wheat. I love it. Biscuit. Yeah, the old straight key. I love it. That's great. Well, somewhere
Never.
over here, somewhere on my pile is some. Oh, it's up there. It's buried. I have a J38. And when I first started 6 7 years ago, that's what I started learning on. Was that
Okay. Yeah, let's see here. I got a bunch of questions here, so yeah, let's see. Yeah, copies enhanced with the straight key for new ups. Paddles are easier for sending. So,
yeah.
well, that's interesting. That's interesting.
And Don would know because Don's actually uh, uh, one of the instructors
One of the instructors.
on the oh gosh, I forget Long Island. Hi Don. I'm sorry I haven't been in class in a while. I've been gnawing. I'm probably gonna get detention there, but
So
no,
that.
he's got a point. Yeah. So I notice I'm left-handed, but
Mhm.
I send with my right hand.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is because I want to have a pencil in this hand for copying. But I guess if your hand copy's good enough, you don't really need to have a pencil in your hand, right, Don? Yeah, I need to work on my hand copy. Um, but yeah, those are just my thoughts.
Yeah.
And so I want to friend said something about that too. He says some of the better operators out there are using their non-dominant hand to send.
Okay. I was
So
always wondering about that.
yeah.
Just and I haven't tried sending with my left hand. And writing with my, because you got to send, and then you got to pick up the pencil and copy. So it's I don't know. I'm not to that point yet.
Right.
Oh, here we go. The question about the radiodity keys. Mark in Michigan. That's right. I remember. He's the one that won the paddle, the radiodity paddle. Has a nice heft. Just I use
Yeah,
both hands. So
it's solid. It's a solid unit. Again, I just haven't played this for a while, and I don't know why this is loose. Um, right here, I got to kind of take a look into that. But yeah, it's definitely probably a good 12 ounces, 14 ounces. It may actually be
it's
a pound.
heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's and that's what you want. You want a little bit of girth to it,
Hmm.
um, to keep it down. The lighter ones, like the CW Morse. I have a CW Morse, right?
Yeah.
Oops, breaking stuff. Um, here's a CW Morse. They sell the steel base as an extra.
Yep.
It's like $35 for a little chunk of steel. A little pricey. But otherwise, everything else is just 3D printed plastic, and that's real light. So if you're going to use this in operation without the base, you're holding
Hmm.
on to it. You're sending.
All right. So, yeah. I like definitely. It's the CW Morse is a pretty light key.
Mhm.
So a good. I can see a good base is good for that. And the radiodity key was substantial. It did. That was one of the things that really impressed me was the heft out of
Right,
it. So,
right.
okay. Well, good deal. We're gonna be talking about keys all night. So.
Yeah, we opened up a hornet's nest right here on keys.
Speaking of CW recommendations for learning it, sorry, might be late to the party. Long Island CW Club. Get
Yeah,
yourself a membership. It is
for the 20 or $30 they charge,
25.
they have
Yeah,
everything. Literally everything. In fact, maybe one of these nights we got to have Don on,
yeah,
talk a little bit about it. I mean, definitely what they have for in terms of a curriculum
mm-hmm.
is second to none. You're
Yeah,
not going to find a better program out there, and they have all the support you could ever want.
yep.
If you want to find a buddy to just practice sending back and forth, set up a schedule, they got that.
They
They
got
got mentors. They got online stuff. They got in-person stuff. They got the Zoom, right? They got everything.
it's all virtual, and but it's all taught by live instructors, and it is probably when I first learned CW back way back when I had to take my novice and technician exams, I had a set of Gordon West tapes, cassette tapes, and
Not the real ones.
the cassettes. But this is but and then a few years ago, I got the Long Island, and then I got the lifetime membership. So it's worth the money. Probably the same amount of what I paid for those cassettes. I got, I got for a year of Long Island CW Club, but just, it's good stuff. So
yeah,
there's other methods out there too, but that's what's working for me. So
it's better than the Berlitz method.
Yeah. So all right. Okay. So man, I think we just spent 20 minutes talking about CW. That's crazy.
He hasn't talked about CW for 15 minutes his entire life.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Joe's one of knowing what headphones am I using? It's a good question. Hold on. AKG L240 studio cans. So.
Yay!
They're comfortable. I like them.
Yeah, I think that's what I do. Because I got these are from my HF radio. These are K72s.
Okay.
That I have on my radio.
I'm susceptible to to be influenced by others. I think I saw an announcer from NPR wearing a set of these, and I said, "Those look really cool. I wonder what they are." Oh wow, they're only like $50.
Right. Well, back in my radio days, I always used AKG as well.
Yeah.
And they fit nice over the ear. They're not too heavy, and
No.
they got pretty good sound quality.
They got really nice sound. Yeah, I like them. So all right. Well, we're at the bottom of the hour. Keep the questions coming in, and we'll get to them in a second here. But we're at the point where I need to pull up. So let's see if I can find it. We need to acknowledge the people that kind of make this show running, and that's our patrons over at Patreon. And we got a few new ones come in over the last month at the supporter level. WD0FKX Bill, Mike R, and Delano Dodds. Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it, and it's extremely grateful for your support. But the people that really keep the show going is our associate producers, and that's our highest level of support, which I like to acknowledge every month, including Bill, Brian, Dave, Don, Joel, John, Conrad, Jason, and our newest one, Ron, KF0LOW, along with Larry, Mark, Lyle, Michael, Tom, MC, which he's relatively new, Michael, Mark, Kyle, and Tim. So thanks for joining us. Like I said, I really appreciate the support. It's like I said, it helps us. It helps keep the show going, because there are expenses, unfortunately, and AdSense revenue does not cover those. So, but you get a lot, and you get a lot in exchange for that. So there's on yeah. You're gonna say something? Okay. Oh, okay. No, I was going to say there's lots of bonus content, like Joe singing.
Pink Pony Club. I'm going to keep on. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, outtakes, extra shots and stuff like that from videos, activations. When I do an activation, I probably get about 3 minutes in the actual video. But if you want to see the full hour and a half, you can go over and catch those and see how as I tell Dave, how the sausage is being made. So
how the sausage is.
And that's over at patreon.com/KB9VBR antennas. Oh, geez Louise. And first, and with that, let's have a word from our sponsor. KB9 VBR antennas are simple, effective, and affordable VHF and UHF antennas for amateur radio, MURS, public safety, and GMRS. Made in the USA with quality parts. Get yours online at jpole-antenna.com. And it's the holiday season, so if you've got a ham radio friend, a new ham that you think needs a good antenna, there's not much better you can get than one of those for getting on the air.
Everyone needs a J-pole.
They do.
Everyone.
Everyone. They do. They're affordable. Shipping deadline, if you want to get it before Christmas, get your order in before December 17th. And then I can pretty much assure you that it'll be Christmas delivery.
Mm-hmm. Unless, of course, the post office just drops it and, runs it over with one of those new trucks.
Oh, I have that happen too. Well, when I first started out, the post office was the best game in town for delivering that stuff. And now they're 20 some years later, they're absolutely the worst.
Yeah. I'll give it another 25 years. It'll be the best again.
Who knows? Yeah. Come and go. So, all right. Yeah. It's, yep. Unsolicited testimony. Love my J-pole. It's a great antenna. I use one here at home. So it's, absolutely agree. Flatlander wants to know if a string of Christmas lights make a good random wire antenna. I've seen a couple of videos where people do that, wire up their lights and then they flash and all that.
Incandescent or LED, I guess.
I think they've done both.
Nice.
Wouldn't there be a lot of resistance with the incandescent bulbs, because what makes those strings work is the inherent impedance and resistance of each one of those little bitty bulbs. Because if you have,
but the bulbs are in parallel, so the resistance actually goes down as you add more. The resistance goes down, the current goes up.
Yeah. But it's parallel series, because those are what little bitty 5-watt bulbs, 2.5 or 2.5 volt bulbs, or whatever they are. They're and you got to string a whole mess of them up in order to get the right up to 120 volts,
Right.
Because as bulbs start burning out on the string, your string will get brighter and brighter, and then they'll just cascade, and all of them will burn out.
Right.
I've had that happen.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been so long since I bought Christmas lights, I don't even know anymore.
Well, you still use Christmas lights, don't you?
No, we don't put them up. We're complete heathens, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I think with 3 dogs and a cat, putting up anything inside is just no.
Yeah.
We're not. I think my wife's biggest holiday is Thanksgiving.
Okay.
That's her big one, and then Christmas is pretty docile. We do presents, but outside of the house.
Yep.
Like we don't have a Christmas here at home. So.
Yep. I get it. So. All right. Well, hey, bah humbug.
Some days I agree with you.
Yeah. So, we gotta talk about this, because evidently, so I got in the mail the other day this fancy certificate from the ARRL, congratulating me. Here, we can do this. We'll put it on the
on camera number 3.
On camera number 3, we got this going on now. The auxiliary camera. But they sent me a 25-year pin and a 25-year certificate. And then I see online that other people have been getting certificates, 10-year certificates. I think one person got like a 40-year or a 50-year certificate. So it's, yeah. So I don't recall getting one at 10 years, but
No, must be something. No, in fact, everyone must be getting them. Look at mine.
you got
Wow.
yours. Well, what the blazes? And you thought you
Right.
wouldn't.
Actually, I think I got it the same day you got yours. And
Oh,
then the
you're
same
just
day I got mine, I got my renewal notice in the mail too. I mean, not the mail done. You got a paid, I just got this. So yeah, so I think they're trying to reward people for consistent membership is what they're
Mhm.
trying to recognize them, right? 'Cause I think some people feel a little put out, since they did away with the paper copy or the hard copy in your
Yeah.
membership. You got to pay extra for that now, and I think they're trying to get something out there to kind of show their gratitude, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah. I know they've been the league's been struggling with retentions and renewals,
Hmm.
um, for good or for worse. I'm not gonna get into the politics of that this evening because that can
Right.
get into um, quite a discussion that I don't want to I just don't
We're
want to
not
get
going to
into
poke that
tonight.
bear. We're not
But
going to poke that bear.
yeah, but so I suppose this is one of the efforts that they're trying to do to it's good to recognize your like you said people that have stuck around for multiple years and
Mhm.
yeah I thought it was nice and it was unexpected so
Right.
so which was really cool. um WB416 asks, ever make POTA contacts with 2 meter sideband? I have
Uh,
not, but
no, you and I did a sideband test, what, 5, 6 years ago,
yeah,
but it wasn't for POTA. Um, you got to be in an
no.
area where there's a lot of sideband activity in order to do that. But I could see like on a 2 meter active 2 meter contest weekend.
Hmm.
You can do that. Sure.
Oh, definitely. I know. I was just chatting with somebody the other day because I was down. They had activated a park down in urban Milwaukee, and I said, "Oh, I was down there last winter." And after the activation, I got on the HT and did some
Hmm.
2 meter FM. And he said, "Yeah, I like to. A lot of times I'll do 2 meter sideband, and once I got somebody 60 miles away. So."
Wow.
There's people that do it. 144.200 is the calling frequency, 2 meter
Right.
sideband calling frequency. So if you've got sideband capabilities, VHF sideband in your transceiver, go for it. Get yourself
Right.
one of those tape measure Yagi antennas, tape
Yeah.
measure
Tape measure
beams.
Yagi, or you
Yep.
have a what's the arrow antenna?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be another good one to use.
Yep. And then, yeah, try it, especially if you're in a spot that, gives you a little bit of, it's line of sight. So a little bit of elevation gain.
Yeah.
Mike,
Don't do that in a swamp.
I'm glad Mike's in the chat tonight because I know that he's done VHF.
Hmm.
And not only has he done 2 meter sideband, but I know he also gets on 220 and 70 centimeters. So it's VHF contests are the way to do that. If you want to uh, get into the VHF, but yeah, I would encourage it, especially probably as it gets warmer and warmer again. When although I think there's a big VHS contest in January, if
I
I
think
remember right.
I think there's a 2 meter and up in
Yeah.
January. August and September, that's the microwave weekends. There's a two weekend microwave contest. One weekend in August
Mhm.
and one weekend in September. So if you're ever a microwave fan, those guys, that's the weekend to do it. But a
Yeah.
lot of that stuff is scheduled in advance. You got to let the guys know where you're at.
The VHF and up. those people, they like to look for tropospheric ducting. So they're watching for those warm air inversion layers, when they start to roll in. And also they'll happen in the summer. But they can happen in the winter months too, because if it's cold and then the upper atmosphere is got just a warm layer coming in, that can really enhance your signal. So, yeah. So, all right. Here Mike's using ICOM 705 elk dual band log periodic. So, but it started out with a speaker wire dipole for 2 FM. So it does. You don't have to have a fancy antenna. Like I said, the tape measure beam, less than $10 in parts, probably.
Probably 15 now with inflation.
Yeah, but you can use one of those Harbor Freight tape measures. So save yourself a buck there.
It's a little pricey now. Those are like $7 or $8.
No way.
Yeah, they're really getting up there.
Yeah.
The quality ain't getting up there, but the price is getting up there.
Yeah, the quality hasn't improved much. So, all right. We were talking about. Like I said, big announcements coming up. Excuse me. Big announcements are we were going to have on the show this evening, and that is the location for our 4th annual Wisconsin Ham Radio Campout. And
yes. Now, caveat: if you're in the Ham Radio Campout email list, you heard about this last night.
Yes, you did.
If you're one of the people who are on this show, you only knew about it 2 nights ago. So don't think that you're that much special to me.
We did give the people that were in the email group, which were the people that had previously spent weekends with us in the previous 3 campouts, a little bit of a heads up, a couple days notice, just because that they've been loyal attendees of the event, and we didn't want our good friends to be, the good regulars to be locked out. But the great news is that there's still plenty of spaces available because it's going to be a big park. So, where are we going this year? Well, and it is on the 4th annual event will be held October 2nd to the 4th at Lake Wissota State Park in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin.
So all you folks from the Twin Cities area, it's only an hour from you, so I think that's pretty close.
Yeah. So I see. We'll put some applause there. All right.
Put that on the rather quick.
Yeah. So it's Lake Wissota State Park. It's I'm just going to pull up our beautiful map of Wisconsin. So it's in the northeast quadrant. Nearest large city is Eau Claire, right off of I-94 in western Wisconsin. And this is a great park. It's got the beautiful Lake Wissota. Lake Wissota is just this. It's a big lake. It's a Titanic lake. If you know Titanic.
Wow. Does that mean it's sinking?
It's, I don't know. It is an artificial lake made up of the Chippewa flowage. But we've got 6,300 acre lake. The park itself is over 1,000 acres. There's 116 campsites. 58 of them were electric. And that was one of the biggest things that people that our previous campers have really wished for, was more electric sites. So I looked at the parks that had the greatest number of electric sites and the best availability to get in. And Lake Wissota just kind of hit all those buttons. The events, what usually happens is now we'll be Joe and I and Travis, the other hosts. We're going to be over here in the neighborhood of site 73, 73 and 74. I got a nice big double site so that we can set up for the campfires. We usually have a breakfast Saturday morning, a big potluck Saturday evening. We'll have some classes during the day, show and tell stuff. A lot of things that'll happen during the weekend, and it'll be all, it's all, by the end of the summer, this campground is going to be full of hams.
Right.
So, because we had close to 50 people attend this last year, so I can imagine we'll have at least that many for this year.
Right. I think we had more than 50 last year, so I bet you we're pushing closer to 60 this year. So get your reservations in now, even if you're not sure. Get a reservation in. You can always cancel it. But get your reservations in now, and then get onto our groups IO as well. And then if there's any updates, or say, for example, maybe you're looking for a site, and when they get all booked, we can be able to help you out there with some as a cancellation. So.
Yep, absolutely. Because by the end of spring, that park is going to be full. So if you think you want to attend, reserve a site now. You can always cancel it. All you're out is the reservation fee, I think. So it's not a real big deal, but it's better to do that, especially if you want one of the electric sites. And even then, if you've got a nice site, you can probably swap with another. If somebody's looking for a site, you can probably swap it out and not lose your investment if you're unable to attend the event. We've had that happen a lot of times. So that's coming up in October. And John, it says here in the chat. Yeah. So who needs an electric site? It's got biennial batteries and solar panels. And I go solar all the way too. By the time October rolls around, the sun is getting a little bit lower in the horizon, and it makes it a little bit more of a challenge. But the days are cool enough that it runs my trailer just fine. So. Right. We got some people, like I said, we got people already making reservations. So if that's something you're interested in, drop me a line. If you got questions, I'd share with that. Otherwise, you can join our email group. That's groups.io, Wisconsin Ham Radio Campout, and join the email list, and then you'll get the notifications on when things are happening at the for the event. Okay. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be I know October's a few months away, but it's going to be a good
like thing. 10. Exactly 10 months out.
Yep.
So
Mark is asking, will there be merch for sale this year? Absolutely.
We should probably order our merch now, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to use a new vendor, and
thank God.
So the last couple of years, we've used Teespring for our because they're a print-on-demand company, and they've just both this year and the year prior, they've dropped the ball horrendously. And just could not supply
what equipment on the front.
Yeah, I mean, I had the sweatshirt sale set up the end of July, and they couldn't get anything delivered by October. Yeah.
3 months.
So I'm going to be, we won't be using them anymore. I'm looking at another print-on-demand company. Otherwise, what I might do is I'll talk to a couple. Some people have recommended local vendors. We'll see if we can set something up So I'll just do a bulk order, and we'll see how the fulfillment goes with that. If they can do direct fulfillment, or if you pick it up at the. Hopefully, I'd like to do direct fulfillment, so I don't have to. The less I have to touch, the better. But we'll get a bulk order set up in the summertime, and then for everything else, we'll just have to use print on demand if you miss the bulk order window. But that's my plan. But we're not going to use the same vendor as we used last year.
Right.
So. Okay. Let's see. Playing Outside is asking about batteries. Is it safe to recharge LifePo 4 batteries inside the home? I don't have a garage, so I'll charge my battery inside the home in a spare bedroom. Yes, it is safe to charge them inside because that style of battery does not outgas like flooded batteries do.
Right. I mean, the lithium batteries are similar to the batteries that are in your cell phone or your laptop.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there's not much difference in them. So yeah, you can certainly charge them at home or inside the house. Lead acid batteries are the ones you got to be worried about because those can vent some gas.
Flooded lead. AGM batteries are safe. Those are sealed. But but the ones, you got to open them up and fill with water. Those
right. You don't really want to use those ones anyways because they're not really great for radio. They're really heavy.
The cost of the lithium iron phosphate batteries have gotten so affordable that you can get a 20 amp hour battery for $59, and that 20 amp hour battery is better than a Group U AGM battery, a 30 amp hour AGM battery. It'll give you more power consistently for a longer period of time, and it's probably $30 cheaper. So
right, and at least half the weight.
At least.
In fact, now if you've been watching Bioenno, and I think Bioenno is probably one of the upper echelon of the LiPo 4 battery manufacturers. They've been running a lot of buy one get one free deals in the past year. So just kind of keep an eye out, and when they have one of those buy one get one free, just grab a pair of them, and then you'll be set for a long time.
Yeah. So, I don't even use the lead acid batteries anymore.
No, I got rid of all mine. They all got recycled.
Yep. So, all right. Let's see. Scout is saying here, speaking of batteries, I've yet to be at a Wisconsin Ham Radio Campout campsite that had a decent place for my solar panel. Lots of trees, typically in our state parks. Yes. In fact, Lake Wissota is very wooded, and we were there in August, and I don't think we made a whole lot of juice that weekend either. Enough to maintain, but definitely didn't get ahead of things.
Yeah, but in October, you're not really running a lot of air conditioning or anything else.
Yeah.
Basically just the batteries, and you sometimes have a heated blanket, but I mean, you're kind of at that point in October, unless you get a really bad weekend, and it's early October, not late October. You really don't need heat. So.
Yep. So, Harrington Beach State Park, Prairie on the Lake. Bong recreational area is another one of those too where you're camping in a big field. Although I think Bong is kind of growing out since the last time I've been there. But yeah, for the most part, I size my battery so that I can make it a weekend and still be in the shade. So.
Right. Just get a bigger battery.
Yeah, astronomy camping, that would be fun. I'd do that. All right. I got something I wanted to talk about here because, like I said, we got some breaking news that's happening in the world of POTA. And dun, dun. I probably should have got that special. So I don't know if you're active follower on the Facebooks, the Parks on the Air Facebook page, you might have seen this posted today, but it was by Sean Pine. He's the what's his call sign? W for BKR. He's the mapping coordinator for Virginia and Delaware. But there's been an issue with Virginia wildlife management areas and fishing lakes, in that they've had to set their the Parks on the Air has set those entities, and that accounts for about 50 park entities in the state of Virginia as inactive wildlife management areas and state fishing lakes, because they've received pushback by conservation officers that park activators need the required special use permit. Sean investigated this and tried to figure out, what was going on. Talked to park leadership and whatnot for conversations. Further conversations confirmed that future SUP state use special use permit requests for amateur radio would also be denied, making it clear there was no viable path forward to keep these parks active, with no workable compromise and no indication that this restriction will be temporary. So they've deactivated these parks. So the reason why the state has said this is that it was amateur radio activity is considered outside the intended purpose of these areas, and these areas primarily for hunting and fishing. So they feel that this is not something that is something that is amateur radio does not fit into those special uses. Now, I suppose you can argue one way or another, but
Yeah.
this is an unfortunate direction things are kind of heading.
Right. I guess my question is like, what problems are hams causing?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, like we've had first come up when they ask, "Oh, what what you're hunting?" Like, I'm not hunting. The main thing, the words I've run into in Wisconsin is like, you got a license, hunting license or a fishing license. But if you don't see a pole or a gun in your car, then they really don't give it much of a hoot, unless you're causing a problem. And again, we leave no trace behind, just a small footprint. Keep the noise down, wear headphones if you can.
Yep.
And really, Michael and I have not ever had a problem.
No.
So I guess the question is what was going on over there that caused the problem? Because normally speaking, and I'm just going to say this from my view, is that the conservation wardens don't have a problem unless you cause a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what's going on.
Yep, absolutely, and I think that's probably the case. There
Mhm.
there could be activators that maybe are not maintaining a small footprint, wires in the trees, stakes in the ground. Some areas don't like that. Other
Mhm.
areas don't care about that at all.
Mhm.
That's something you really have to be aware of, though.
Right.
Or putting up pop-up shelters or loud audio or banners and flags and things like that really draw attention. I know some people feel that Parks on the Air should be out there to educate and stimulate the interest in amateur radio, and
Yeah.
that could be our own downfall. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I guess so in some respects, Wisconsin's kind of got the same thing with the natural areas.
Mhm.
But there's a sort of an agreement between our mapping coordinator and the DNR that we won't, well, not me, but POTA won't put the natural areas in the database. Just as long as we don't do any problems with the other areas, state
Yeah.
parks, wildlife areas, things of that nature. And Wisconsin's got a million acres of land. It seems like everywhere you go that there's a POTA entity now around here.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. In Wisconsin, there's about 20 state natural areas that have made it into the database over the years, but no new ones have been added since the moratorium was lifted 3 years ago.
Right.
It's natural areas are, we've got wildlife areas which are open to a wide variety of uses: hunting, fishing, trapping, foraging. Natural areas tend to be a little bit more restrictive because they are usually they're designated to protect a certain type of flora or fauna or natural or geographic something that's in that area. So they get a little bit more persnickety about what kind of activities happen in the natural areas. So even though they're part of their DNR entities, a lot of times natural areas are encompassed inside of a wildlife area or a park anyway. So it's you can still activate the park, but not the natural
Right.
area.
And
So.
most of the time, we're just operating from a parking lot, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I find a hunting area, a wildlife area, I just find a remote little parking spot that's listed there. That's where I set up.
Yep.
Nothing fancy. I don't go out into the wilderness or anything real deep into the woods. I'm just gonna go where I can park the truck, throw the magic carpet out, make my 15, 20 contacts, and get the heck out of there.
Absolutely.
I don't set up banners. I don't get loud. I just do my thing and I pick everything up. Usually, if I see some garbage, I'll throw that in the back of the truck as well. Just leave the place a little bit better than what I found it, and
Yeah.
move on.
And I think,
Um,
and I think that's the key to things. I know I saw a comment up here. Let's see. They were talking about wildlife refuges. Yeah. So I heard that there's been a problem in the past with wildlife refuges, especially on the East Coast. Some of the management in the wildlife refuges have been concerned about amateur radio use because
right.
there again, that's not the primary purpose of the refuge, and they're concerned about the animals that inhabit the refuge. So if you're going to be activating wildlife refuges, you almost certainly want to use, maintain a very low profile, the lowest impact you can. Just simple antennas, mag mount on a ham stick on the roof, 8TAS 120, things like that, or just a
Right.
simple vertical with nothing drilled into the ground, just to
Right.
kind of keep on the right side of the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
Be mindful. You wouldn't
Mhm.
go set up a photo activation at the USS Arizona Memorial,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
I don't know. Common sense isn't very common sometimes. And I'm not going to blame anyone in particular. I get it. Um,
Yeah.
but I think some of this there are some people out there that make a production of it.
Yep.
And I think that's what's going on.
Yeah. And
Right?
Sean, and Sean, really, to try to stay, in the good graces with conservation officers, park rangers, and things like that. He listed a few really good tips for responsible activation. And these are things we've talked about. Keep your footprint small, avoid large antennas, fields, or big setups. Be mindful of timing and impact. Consider season sensitive habitats and primary purpose of the land you're operating on. Like, last week was the Wisconsin gun deer hunting season. I stayed out of the wildlife areas because I know that the parking areas would be utilized by hunters.
Right.
Stay respectful during interactions. Most officials aren't familiar with amateur radio. That's absolutely true. A positive encounter helps everyone. If asked to pack up, don't argue. Show any permits or documentation you have, but don't escalate. Bad interactions can have long-term consequences. And if you run into a situation, report issues to your state mapping representative. They all of them rely on that feedback. If they don't know about the recurring problems at a park, they can't work to address them.
Right. Most of the state mapping representatives actually have contacts with the DNR and the other agencies that manage these, and they can talk about them with them and try to take care of things, I guess is the best way to say it.
Yeah.
But don't take matters into your own hands. You're just going to cause more problems than it's worth.
Yep. So, yeah. All right.
Yeah. Don't bring a generator into a wildlife area. Right. Don't bring your van with your 16-foot trailer and don't put up banners and 17 cameras and I don't know. There's some crazy stuff out there.
This brings me to my second point. Mr. Mark DW says, in Louisiana, we need a hunting or fishing license to use wildlife management areas for any reason. And, I think getting a fishing license at the very least, or a conservation license, might not be a bad idea, because this is what's going on in the state of Wisconsin now. And let's see if I can get rid of this. We've got just proposed in the last couple of weeks, Republican lawmakers proposed new fees for hiking, biking, cross-country skiing on state-owned land. And this could impact anybody that utilizes any type of wildlife area or state trail in the state of Wisconsin. Famously, just a little bitty bit of background, Wisconsin state parks are self-funded. Since the mid 2010s, they have not received funding from the state to maintain state parks, state trails, and other things. It's all self-funded by user fees, by your vehicle admission sticker, by your campsite registration fees, by your state trail pass for biking or cross-country skiing, by your hunting, fishing, and conservation license. But they still are managing a $16 million shortfall in the budget, according to these two representatives. And what they want to do in order to meet that shortfall is to increase bike and ski passes to $40 a year, and adding a $20 hiking permit for state trails. Presumably that would include the Ice Age National Scenic Trail. So having everybody pay their way. And they feel that something like this would fix that budget shortfall. So maybe that's something that we need. Now that this legislation hasn't been introduced yet, there hasn't been any hearings. Basically, they're looking for co-sponsors, so it could die. Hopefully it dies.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. If there's going to be one entity in government that I'm going to probably give a few bucks to and not cry about, it'd probably be for state parks, right? Every other state entity that wants money from me can, just, shove off.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I enjoy the state parks, and for the most part, I'll do my parts. It just seems like they want to have specific uses and specific dollar amounts to that. I guess if you're going to do something like I said, you have to have a hunting or fishing license. Okay. Okay, that's fine. That's not terrible. But if you're gonna nickel and dime it, you need 20 for hiking, 40 for foraging,
Yeah,
40 cross country. That's ridiculous.
that's getting it.
Just get a vehicle sticker like for everything else, and just one sticker. Okay, fine.
Or just,
You know.
you know, gosh, we should put it back into the state budget. My gosh, we can.
Yeah, there would be that too. I mean, but this is Wisconsin. Legislature
There's
in
a
Wisconsin is the third most dysfunctional governmental organization in the world. I mean, and
there's
there's
a
some third world countries that do better than the
yeah,
Madison.
yeah. There's a great disparity if you look at the cost of utilizing state parks, this in Wisconsin and other nearby states, Illinois, Minnesota, and Michigan. There's
Mhm.
there's this lack of funding from the state definitely has caused a disparity in both the cost of the user fees, but also in the expense, or I should say the expense of the user fees, but also the cost of the deferred maintenance that
Right.
has happened in the last decade to the state park system. It's just terrible. So,
John Muir's got to be rolling over in his grave.
yeah. Ohio state parks are free. Yep, it's paid by. Yep, your state income tax pays for that. Same with the state of Illinois.
Mhm.
A lot of them, hunting and fishing license revenues pays for a lot of the wildlife areas. And if you like to use wildlife management areas for park activations, get yourself a license. What's a small game license? I don't know, 20 some bucks, $30. Fishing license, I know a family, fishing license is like $25. You don't have to use it. I know famously, if you like to hike and if you're an avid bird watcher, bird watchers, ornithologists, they'll buy a duck stamp and will never go out duck hunting. But when you purchase that duck stamp, that money, that federal money goes to maintaining habitat for the things that you like. So it's
Right.
maybe that's something we need to consider. It's get a hunting license, get a fishing
Yeah.
license, and
I guess just the way the way that this is worded, at least how
mhm,
the article is worded, and well, it's public radio that put that out there, so we'll just leave it at
yep,
that as well. But they're saying like they're going to have a different use fee for everything,
mhm,
and then so if they have that, well then they say, well, we don't have a use fee for ham radio, so you can't do it, right?
yep,
And that's a concern to me. Is like if you just want to put a single use fee for the wildlife areas, or the trails, because you got to remember the Ice Age Trail, while it is part of the national park system, it's 90% on DNR, Wisconsin DNR land,
yep.
right?
DNR
So
land, yep, and public easements.
they're gonna charge you for it if this goes through. So again, fine. If you want a $20 window sticker, I'm fine with that.
Mhm.
But if you're gonna nickel and dime it and you're gonna have specific uses, then I have a problem with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Enforcement's going to be a zoo. It's parks should be free everywhere. I would agree. Just it should be part of the it should be part of the public contract we make
Right,
in society. We
right. I pay
support.
my taxes. I put in something I want, not just everyone else's pockets.
I pay taxes for police and fire protection, and I should pay taxes for beautiful parks. Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
mhm, I like that. So, uh, POTA stamp. There we go. Yeah, just like the duck stamp, the POTA stamp. So,
I like to see the FCC start issuing those.
all
Ham
right,
dumping,
get off my high horse there.
right?
um,
Now we know what grinds Michael's
what
gears.
grinds my gears. It's something I've been bugging me for the last couple of weeks ever since I saw those articles and just looking for
Right.
background information, and it's just been um, Oh, I'm just going to scan back here to see if there's anything that we've kind of missed. Let's see. 'Cause I know we've kind of gone on a couple of big tangents. And
So this whole night's been one big
oh,
tangent.
big night, big tangent. I told you we had a lot of stuff to talk about. All right. Well, if I didn't get your question, I'm not seeing it here. If I didn't get your question and you still want an answer, pop it in the chat again, and hopefully we can.
Yeah, we got a few minutes left here.
We got a few minutes left, but yeah, we were going to talk about, on this whole idea of, being approached by people. I did get a question because this happened to me last weekend when I was activating a park. Do you have any amateur radio related literature in your car to hand out to people, like QSL or business cards? And you know what? I do not. And I purposely keep my conversation, sort of light and sort of vague, and do not get into the weeds to what I'm doing. So if somebody asks me, which happened to me last week when I was out at a park, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm doing ham radio. And, oh, that's cool. That's usually, that answers about 90% of what they're interested in. Who are you talking to? And then I give a couple of, well, let's see. I've talked to a station out in California, Georgia, Maine. If I had any DX, a couple DX stations, and cool.
Yeah.
And,
I think last year at our ham radio campout up at the island, I was out at a wildlife management area, no less, and I think it was opening a small game or something that weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I saw a warden drive past on the road. I was just in a little parking area, and I saw him whip a Yui and come back in and start running my plates. Like, okay, he's just looking to see who I am. And he came up and said, "How you doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, pretty good." He goes, "You catching anything?" He says, "I got a couple contacts in Chile, but nothing else." And he kind of looked at me funny. I said, "That's ham radio." Like, "Oh, okay, yeah." Like, you hunted or anything? No, no, haven't owned a gun in years. All right, well, hey, have fun, you know. And you know what? There was an empty beer case. I picked it up, right? Threw it in the back of the truck before I left to get rid of it, just so there wasn't litter out there. You know, just take care of what you got, and you don't need to have a spiel. You don't need to have an elevator speech.
No.
Just enjoy it. Okay. I guess, getting back to the problem they had in Virginia, I'm wondering, like, if someone pulled up and had brochures and a table and everything else too,
Mm-hmm. And I think that's overkill, and that's probably attracting more attention than what you need. And the guy asked me, "Well, what you doing, ham radio?" I said, "Oh, I thought you were set up here searching for wolves or something like that." And it's like,
oh
no,
that's the other antenna.
Yeah, no, I wasn't doing that. And so we got into about a 3-minute conversation of wolf kills. It's
Oh yeah, you're gonna run into those.
yeah, the guy goes, "Yeah, my son was out hunting and he shot a deer and it was late, so he was gonna track it the next day. And when they found it, the wolves had torn the whole thing up." And so wolves are a big problem. Wolves are a big problem, both in northern Wisconsin, ecologically and politically right now. So it's
more politically than ecologically, I think. But we're going to set that conversation right here.
Yeah, we're going to say, Mike is sending reports back to the mothership. I get that too. I get that too. Yep, science experiments. Well, I guess it's all science. I mean, we're testing propagation, so it's. I've gotten questions like that too. I thought I was doing some kind of a research.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's talking to the aliens. You get all these, yeah.
Well,
All sorts of people ask you all sorts of questions, and yeah, however you want to answer it, I just try to keep it at the most basic 10,000-foot description, and you'll be good. So
I'm just looking for instructions from my KGB handler.
yeah,
Just say that and see what happens.
yeah, there you go. All right, so well, to kind of finish up the show, because I don't have any gears to grind. Well, I guess I already ground my gears. We were going to talk.
Yeah, you ground that gear smooth.
It's smooth. It's really smooth. It's we're going to talk about holiday gift ideas, but and maybe a little more than that, but things that really kind of caught my eye, things I like that I've seen in the last year, because it's, we're already into December, and if you haven't figured out, what to get whoever for the holidays, it's probably going to be too late. But these are kind of things that I've seen that I've kind of really liked, and I know you've probably got a couple of them too, Joe, that things that have caught your eye. So I thought we'd just share a few of those.
I'm going to be honest with you, Michael. Mm-hmm. When we first started doing this little venture, you threw more of the junk my way that you get in for reviews. You haven't really hooked the brother up lately. So I'm going to be honest, I really haven't seen a lot of cool things. Hint, hint.
Oh, come on. I've given you plenty of swag.
Oh, well, what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately?
What have I done for you lately? So, in no particular order, one of the things that's really that I've really been like and used a lot of is common mode chokes.
Oh yeah,
and these we're going to get some more light on that. Let's see if that helps a little bit. Okay, so this one is by KF8 ASE. See if we can focus on that. Of course, it's not going to focus.
Do you have the autofocus on?
It's supposed to be on. It was focusing before. I think it's because it's too small. There we go. Yeah. KF8 ASE Ham Radio Supply. You can get these online at Etsy. So we'll put, when I do the slice and dice, I'll put links to this down below. We've been using the last year or so. I've been using a lot of vertical antennas, the Performer antenna, the Ribikoff, and all that. And common mode chokes have been really, useful in just keeping that RF energy off your feed line. And I think in the last year, I've probably collected I've got like 4 or 5 of them now all of a sudden. It seems like 2 years ago I had none, and now I got them all over the place. And
and we've really been using them a lot for multiple stations in a small area. Field day, winter field day, for our Ham Radio Campout. They're really game changers for when you got multiple people. When you're doing a contest with Dave, you guys are running chokes. And in fact, Dave was talking about he just put up a random wire antenna, and he used chokes for tuning, and how well it's working now.
Chokes on both, yeah. So and when we run multiple transmitters, we put chokes on both ends of the feed line, and that's why I've ended up with so many of these. So.
Right. So yeah, if you didn't have 2 of these in your Go box, consider it. They're $30 or $40. Some of the better ones from ABR, I think, are 50 or 60.
50,
but get a good couple well-made ones, and they'll last you a long time, and they'll really help.
Absolutely. That's one of those things that's money well spent. We talk about isolation, and another piece that's really that I've had for the last year I found really useful, and it's this little guy by Chameleon. They call this the insulator, but basically This is a 3/8 by 24 thread on one side, and then a chunk of insulating material and a 3/8 by 24 thread on the other side. And I've used this for like my non-resonant antennas so that the base, the tripod, the support doesn't become part of the antenna. I find that really helpful. So I've got a couple of those. They're not that expensive, under $30, and they're super, like I said, another things that are super helpful.
Right.
Along with
that 3/8 by 24 is so common in all the antennas that we use. It's just good to have one if you just want to throw something together like a Frankenstein antenna.
Yep. And speaking of tripods, these little guys, I get these from McMaster-Carr. So I can convert my tripod, which is 1/4 by 20 on one side, and 3/8. Yeah, 1/4 20, and then 3/8 by 24 on the other side. I got like a half a dozen of them because you're going to lose these things. They're $8 a piece. McMaster-Carr's got them. Chameleon's got them for markup.
Really marked up.
Really marked up. Yeah. If you're using tripods, another good thing for your kit. Let's see what we got here. This thing I did a review on back in October, the Pocket PD. What this does is it's a controller for your newer style power supplies. So if you've got a power supply that's got the USB-C on it, and this thing engages the USB-C charging, so you can pull variable voltage, variable current out of this little wall wart there. Full setup. You got a power supply that goes up to 5 amps, 20 volts. That fits in the palm of your hand. So if you're like an experimenter, kit builder, nice little power supply there. So
if you had like the U-bit transceiver, and you want to run a full 5 watts out of that instead of the half watt you get with USB, you could potentially use that.
You could.
But using USB.
So yeah, like my little True SDX. This will run on. Yeah, this will run. This will run on any voltage between 5 and 15. And what Dave has found out is that the more current that goes, or the higher the voltage, the more power it puts out. So if you're running 13.8 out of a lithium battery, you could be putting out 5-6 watts and really stressing the finals on it. This will, this little device, you can dial it down, use your USB power supply, and get to it a more reasonable 10 or 11 volts. So good stuff there. Couple other things I wanted to talk about an antenna. This one that came to me back in May. We've seen I did a few videos on it. It's the spool antenna, end-fed half-wave. Not a bad antenna. In a real convenient kind of package. It winds up on its own spool, 10 through 40 meters, and I've had good luck with this one. So
yeah, that's another one that would go great with a little 5 watt radio. Yeah, definitely something like that. If you got the true SDX there, that would put that in a shoebox and away you go.
Yep. Absolutely. So.
Or in Dave's case, a cigar box.
A cigar box.
Nowadays, Dave doesn't currently.
I think finishing up here, one of the last items that I've I've come to really enjoy. It's been super useful. We've been talking about doing multi operator events like Winter Field Day, Summer Field Day, and some of the QSO parties that Dave and I pick up this. This is the GL iNet travel router. And I'll just see.
Yeah, we've used that a couple times, and that's another game changer for setting up for logging.
Yep. So this is what a travel router lets you do is you can tap into, say, like, if you're spending time at a hotel or something like that, Airbnb, you can tap into their Wi-Fi. You set it up so that it logs into their Wi-Fi, and then it can provide if a secure tunnel, a VPN if you wish, or just internet, internet service, IP addresses to all of your devices, so that they don't all have to connect to the same connection. It just gives you a little bit of extra DNS services. It gives you a little bit of extra security. But what we found doing really nice is that because it's a full router, we can, if we're running multi-operator, we can do all our networking through this. I don't have to worry about whose router is set up for what. We can add a smartphone. It can to tie into this for internet for everybody, or a jetpack for internet for everybody. It's really, really super convenient, and they're not that expensive. I think $70 I paid for this.
Right. So. We've been using the N1MM logging software a lot for Winter Field Day and Field Day, and it works almost flawlessly with that. We had some problems with Starlink, but other than that, it was fine.
Well, we were kind of pushing the limit 500 feet or so.
We needed a repeater in between there.
Yeah. So really handy tool. If networking is important to you, multi-operator kind of things, it's something that I added to my kit this last year that have really just been really, really helpful. So I think that's about most of what I wanted to share. I don't know if you've got anything, Joe, that
I think you pretty much covered it, other than the True STX, which is I think kind of becoming our little toy that we've all been experimenting with. No, I'm pretty good, I think.
That really kind of amazes. It still continues to amaze me. So let's see here. Somebody was asking about, do you know if they sell an M10 to 3/8 by 24 adapter? That is a really good question. McMaster-Carr might.
Yeah, I mean, I would search Amazon, and
of
course, but that's kind of a goofy one there. Because we only use Freedom units. Speaking of which, Michael, can you turn on your third camera again?
Yeah.
Yeah, turn that on. What is that?
This?
What? No, look at the numbers on there, and you tell me what you see. I don't see Freedom units.
No, it's all This is
you traitor.
These little hash marks I do know are in inches.
Are they? Because it looks like they're counting down in centimeters.
Maybe this is all metric. Oh, there we go.
Turn it around. There you go.
There.
God bless America.
The gray side is in Freedom units.
There we go. That's better.
Yeah,
but the black side actually shows
the black side.
Else, so.
Yeah, the black side is not. Oh, that's interesting. I did not realize that. And that little cutting pad, that's another nice thing I found this year. You see the green ones? Everybody likes to use the green ones on camera, and I think green is such an ugly color. So I like the neutral gray.
Always thinking about aesthetics.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Let's see. Oh, here we go. I can't even find a half-inch wrench. You need to bring them in from the U.S. Tell you what, you bring us 10-millimeter sockets, and we'll keep you supplied with half-inch wrenches.
Right.
Oh, wants to know if WD-40 is one of our sponsors. Oh,
Yeah.
This is really cool. This is WD-40 contact cleaner. So it's the same, similar to Deoxit, except my local home improvement store carries this. So
well, there you go.
Yeah. So
I got so many different sponsors behind me, man. They're just piling up.
So they're not a sponsor.
We win. We're really rolling in money then.
Yeah. For those routers of all the field days, store the shared long router routers with a micro SD card. That is a great idea.
Yeah.
We'll have to. N1MM does a really cool thing where each computer has a backup, sort of keeps a backup copy of the log on each local machine, so that if you lose sync, it doesn't. You don't lose everything you've got, and then as you continue on and you regain the connection, it can resync in real time through the transaction logs. It's crazy how they do it.
Right.
But unlike N3FJP requires a common data file for everybody, with lock tables and the whole 9 yards. But this M1NM just does it on a whole different level, and it's really cool how they do it. So
right. Flatlander has corrected me. The true SX is not a toy.
It's not a toy. That is true.
Dave is probably just throwing things at his computer right now because they said that.
Yep. All right. I'm just going to grab one or two more that we kind of had, and then we'll be signing off for this evening. I want to build a mount for two 17-foot whips to make a dipole like the Hextena. One of the whips is just mounted to the block. The other whip mounted as usual. Correct. I'm having a little bit of hard time visualizing.
One whip has got to go to the center conductor of the coax, and the other one has to go to the ground, right? So whatever you use for a block or a centerpiece or whatever, that's got to be isolated between the two of them.
Yep. Okay. Absolutely. So if you've got like a block of aluminum, and one side would be tapped for a 3/8 by 24 hole, and then the other side can also be tapped for a 3/8 by 24 hole, and then on the side on the second side, get one of those stud mounts that's got a SO2 39 on one side, and then the 3/8 by 24 on the other side. That'll go into one tapped hole, and then your whip will go into the other tapped hole, the opposite direction. Look at, that's the classic hamstick dipole mount, and I could probably sketch you out something easier than I can kind of describe it. So
Whistler, Hustler antennas.
Yeah, Hustler makes those
like that. Take a look at them and see what they have.
Yep. But yeah, it's you could
antennas, not Hustler magazine. Let's be clear on that. Do they even make the magazine anymore? I don't know.
I'm not sure. Well, Larry Flint is dead, so it's
yeah.
All right. Somebody was wondering, do they make an adapter to use drill batteries? Man, people are using drill batteries for everything. We're gonna have to.
Yeah, I see that, and I think by the time those drill batteries are getting more expensive than bioenno.
Oh, I know. Well, they got all
really
those
4 or 5 amp hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there are some adapters out there to get you to like a 12 volt or something around that. But again, I don't know. It seems kind of silly to me as well.
So, all right. Well, I think we're getting towards the end here. I grabbed most of the questions, and I went through all of the topics I had on my long list here tonight. So just want to remind everybody, our next live stream will be coming up on New Year's Day, January 1st. So,
Really?
yeah.
We're gonna have a New Year's Day one, huh?
Are you gonna be sober?
Sober, yeah. I'm probably be sleeping. I don't
Probably be
go
sleeping.
out for amateur hour anymore. Those days
Neither
are
do I.
long past.
Yeah.
God, like, who? Why? I mean, it's just everyone. No, man. I think realistically for New Year's Eve, I'm in bed by 10 o'clock every night. Past few
Pretty
years.
close. And then it's just you feel so terrible on New Year's Day that it's a couple of mimosas and just kind of cruise through the
Bloody Mary, yeah,
Bloody
no,
Mary
I'm not.
Rose Bowl game and or the Rose Parade and be done with it. So it's,
Yeah, no, my carousing is lawn tennis, so.
All right. So we
We'll also
should
be talking about Winter Field Day.
Mhm.
Our end of the year POTA Rove will be coming up.
Oh
Stay tuned
yeah.
for that we've actually made plans for the POTA Rove, but we haven't even talked about Winter Field Day yet.
No. Well, the POTA Rove comes first. So.
Oh, exactly. But we talked about that 3-4 months ago. Way too prepared.
Yep. All right. So, well, thanks a lot, everybody, for joining us. It's been a good evening. Like I said, a lot of great conversation here. I always love it when we can get on and chat like that. So, good deal. But that is the end. So, looking for it. I'm still getting used to my newish. Okay, let's see if we got the outro. I thought I had an outro here. Yeah, I'm using new software, but I'm trying to figure out how I can close the show. But I can't find my outro video, and I don't remember what I did. So I think we're just gonna. Yeah, we are live. So we're just gonna finish up. Thanks a lot, everybody. I'm Michael, KB9 VBR.
And I'm Joe, KD9 CJX 73.
Hey, 73. Have a great evening.